Okay, next up in the seed launch is the list. The beautiful thing about a seed launch is you don't need a big list. You can do this with a list of 50 to 300 people. Bigger is okay, no problem with that. Remember, the thing you're really doing with a seed launch is you are creating a product. This is the fastest, easiest way to get a product. And then once you have a product, even if you're just starting out and you have a really small list, once you have the product, it's possible to go out and line up a JV partner or two and do a launch with them. Probably not a full-out JV launch, but with one or two partners, and then you can use that to build your list. So this is a way you can sort of leapfrog. You just need that little itty-bitty list to get yourself a product, and then you use that product and the potential of affiliate income or JV income to pull in a couple of affiliates. And I've seen people do this over and over. So 50 to 300 people is okay. It's easy to get that kind of list. I mean, it is very easy. Go through the list building training that's included in this course, and you can start contributing to some forums and become a valuable participant in some forums, and that can drive people back to your site, your squeeze page. You can give them an ethical bribe and get people on your list. Put up a few videos on YouTube that can easily drive a few hundred people. Use Facebook and Twitter. Find people that are interested in your topic. Start providing value to them. And bingo, you can build this size of a list very easily. I just absolutely don't want to hear anyone telling me you don't have a list, because to go get a list in this 50 to 300 people range is easy. And you create a bribe, you create a squeeze page, you go use those traffic sources I just told you about, you drive people there, and you start building a list. Once you have that size of a list, then remember, you want 30 to 60 people in your program going through your seed launch to give you the interactivity so you can learn how to teach, so they can help you create the product. It becomes an interactive thing. It's a lot more interesting to go through this process and teach a group of people than it is to sit there and try to make it up on your own. Smaller is okay. You could do a smaller group of people if they're really, really motivated. So, if for whatever, this is the thing is, the people are almost always less motivated than you think, and that's why you need 30 to 60 people to get them on your calls. I mean, 30 is on the low end, 60 is better. So you want to get 30, hopefully 60 people to sign up, so that way you've got 30 people really taking part and really interacting with you. But if you have some type of a group where you just, you for whatever reason you have this group and you just know they're incredibly rabid and they really are going to show up, and your course isn't going to be too long, you might be able to get away with 10 or 12 people. But in general, you want that 30 to 60. One other thing about this is, if you look at the way I did it, I sold somewhere in, like I said, with my product launch workshop when I first did this, I sold somewhere in the range of 6 to 9 people, somewhere in there. And so I wasn't terribly successful, but I ended up filling it out through my contacts, through people that were in my mastermind groups, or people that I just knew, friends of mine that I knew were really interested in that. And I was able to get it more in that 30 to 40 person range. And that ended up working out very, very well for me. So you should look at your contacts. Maybe you know people that are interested in your topic, people you correspond with, just people you have a relationship with. And if you could fill out, 10 to 20 of those people, and they tend to be, you're going to get better compliance with them. They're going to be more involved in general in your program. So if you can find 10 or 20 of those people, then you only need to find 10 or 20 other, so-called strangers, people from your list. So that's another way to look at this. Okay, now let's look at the timeline. And this is just a very rough general timeline. This isn't, you don't have to follow this. This is just, this has worked for me in the past a couple times. You can move these days around. You don't need a super big, long pre-launch. In here I have day one's initial announcement. That's the start of your pre-launch. Day 3, you'll usually follow up. Hopefully you got some questions from that initial announcement. Maybe that initial announcement was actually a survey I shot across the bow. So you follow up a couple days later, you answer some questions. Day 5, you'll start to really reveal what's going on with the program, giving some more details about the program. Day 7, you release it, you send them to a sales letter or a sales video. Generally, it doesn't have to be super extensive because you're doing this to a smaller, warmer list. It's more like an interaction with them. So you send them, you release the program on day 7. If you don't fill it up immediately and sell it immediately, then you follow up day 8. Maybe you follow up with some social proof. Day 9, follow up with some scarcity and social proof. The scarcity is they have to sign up by the next day, or the program's going offline. You're going to shut down the ordering process. So you're basically looking at a 4-day, so that the cart's open day 7, 8, 9, and 10. Day 10, so day 9, you give them scarcity. Hey, we're going to shut down the registration tomorrow. A lot of people have already jumped on board. They're very excited about this, and I'm really excited to start teaching this program. And I'm gonna have to pull it off the market. I'm gonna have to shut down registration tomorrow because we got the class starts the next day. So then on day 10, you follow up with another scarcity message, some additional social proof, and you close down the program. You might even put out 2 emails on that day, on day 10, early in the day and later in the day. Hey, we're closing it down in just a few hours. Then the next day you start the program. You don't have to start it the next day. You could start it a couple days later. And then typically I'll do another call or another module every week. So I've got day 11, day 18, day 25. How many modules you do is completely up to you. I would suggest doing at least 3. 3, 4, 5 is a nice sweet spot. You could do 3 with a question and answer session, so that gives you 4, or 4 with a Q&A, or 5 with a Q&A. So it could be anywhere from 3. I mean, you could go crazy and have 12 modules, but you probably don't want to stretch out a seed launch and a seed program quite that long. I would say the magic is somewhere between 3 and 5 modules. Some people do this and they release it every 2 or 3 days. I mean, I've seen people do this where they do it on Monday, Wednesday, Friday and get it all over with in 1 week. It really depends on your market, what you want to do, how meaty it is, how lengthy, how much you have to teach. And then basically immediately after the program ends, then you start building out your product for your full launch. So you could take the recordings of what you did, edit them, make them look better, get them transcribed, add in any bonus material, and then you got yourself a product. Or you can do what I did with the original product launch workshop. I just took everything that I taught and then I made it look a lot. I redid it. Redid it 100%. I did it, the original one was just a bunch of teleseminars. I redid it as screen capture, and I actually turned it into a physical product with CDs and DVDs, and I built it onto a big product. So you can be the perfectionist like me, but you're probably better off just, doing the quick and dirty and getting the product out there.